Earth death in 15 minutes. Hello, ladies and gents, boys and girls, people of all ages, sexualities, and identities. Welcome back to another Doctor Who review. And I thought, you know what, it's about time we catch up on a lot of the Ninth Doctor stuff because, you know, we're quite behind. And I've been looking at this list endlessly and been thinking to myself, at least if we get round to it, we can get more into the Big Finish stuff. So, the end of the world. What is this story about? Well, essentially, the Doctor decides to take Rose Tyler to the far future, and he decides to show her exactly what will happen to planet Earth in about 1 billion years. Now, the world isn't quite dead yet, but the solar flares are getting there, and the Doctor shows her that her planet is on the boil. That's right. She watches as the solar flares get closer and closer from the sun, and it proves that the Earth is having its time. The Earth is about to die. And so Rose gets a bit confused at first because she's confused exactly what's going on. So the Doctor decides to show her around the place and essentially show her that a bunch of people have come to mourn the death of the Earth in a kind of party celebration of everything that made the planet so beautiful. The one thing that shocks Rose in this story is the fact that there are so many aliens who have come to mourn the Earth rather than human beings themselves. The Doctor and Rose basically find themselves at a kind of pinnacle point of their journey in which essentially they walk around and introduce themselves to a bunch of different life forms. One spits in the Doctor's face, the Doctor gives them air from my lungs, and essentially they all part on like good kind of merit. However, Rose runs away because she's really scared. One, because she's very young, and two, because she's in a situation in which she feels like she is the odd one out. Rose then spends a couple of minutes talking to a tree, slash a bunch of twigs, whilst the Doctor begins to investigate when it turns out that a bunch of mysterious deaths seem to be happening on side of the space station. And lo and behold, to no one's surprise, of course, it's none other than Cassandra. She's jealous of her competition, and the best way to get rid of them is to kill them and fry them when the solar flares get too close and the sun expands so much that the space station can't hold it. But Cassandra wasn't alone in this. The best way to do this is she came aboard the ship with a bunch of fake guests, aka the Box of Malboon, which are a bunch of robot androids, which the Doctor explains they're just an imagination, they're just an idea. And it turns out that they were giving everyone the gift of some very, very small circular objects. Now, what no one realises is these small circular objects were actually robot spiders that had gone round the mainframe and started dismantling the place. By doing this, it made the station very vulnerable and made it easy for it to break down. On top of this, Rose Tyler finds herself locked in one of the rooms where sunrise descending, sunrise descending, sunrise rising, sunrise rising. The Doctor finds himself at a conflict at what to do next. He now finds himself off with one of the descendants of tree kind, having to try and slow down a fan quick enough that he can put the shields up. However, his new friend slash ends up burning up in the process. He then has to go and give his apologies and heartfelt condolences to her brothers. He then explains to Rose about the whole business with the teleport, and so just to humiliate Cassandra, he uses her teleport against her and lets her begin to creak to death. Rose is appalled by this darker side of the Doctor, but she understands that he has been pushed to the boundary, and there's a lot of things that he hasn't told her. At the end of the episode, he tells her that he is the last of his kind, and that his planet is nothing but rocks and dust. The pair of them then joke about the fact that they both want chips, and Rose ends up paying because the Doctor has no money. So, the end of the world. What do I give this story out of 10? It's a solid story and definitely one of my favourites from back in the day. I really feel like this story still stands to reason today, and for that reason I give it a solid 8 out of 10. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next Doctor Who review. Until then, goodbye, stay beautiful, you beautiful people.